Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Dalles Chamber Community Affairs. Today, our guest is Teri Brown, and she will be reviewing some updated information for all of you, and hopefully that we will share it out there as to what she actually is doing, some updates, and how that affects our businesses and our community. So with that, before we go into Teri, we're going to go around the room. I know that you probably know most of these people, but I'm going to have them introduce themselves, the organization that they represent, along with, they're allowed, a short soundbite in the words of some other people I know, just a little bit if you have an update or anything like that. Go ahead, Scott.
Good morning, everyone. Scott McKay. I'm the community liaison for Circles of Care here in the Dalles, and we connect older adults with volunteers older adults who need some kind of periodic support, friendly visits, transportation, that type of thing. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Scott. Dan Spots.
Thank you, Lisa. Dan Spots, Economic Development Officer with the City of the Dalles. And I've been sitting on some really good news for a couple of weeks because it was embargoed, but we're free to release it now. A couple of days ago, we received official notice, Environmental Protection Agency, the City of the Dalles, and also North Wasco County School District separately are each the recipient of $500,000 mitigation grants. The city's grant will replenish and replace the dwindling coalition grant that we had with the port and the county for identification of underground storage tanks, asbestos, things like that in old buildings, mitigation thereof. And then the school district grant will be targeted on Chenoweth Middle School. The goal again of renovating that into the Columbia Gorge Early Learning Center. So this is a big step in that direction. That should more than take care of the hazardous materials in that 1954 structure. So now we have to go through the paperwork to actually activate these. We've been notified. We can't say that we actually have them yet. You have to go through a procurement process and a lot of other preliminary work, but it is official. So moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And I just put bits of the press release that was sent out yesterday regarding that, along with the link so that you can follow up to the actual press releases from the state and such for the Brownsfields.
Thank you, Lisa.
You bet. Had that one at my fingertips, so that was great. David Peters.
Good morning, everybody. Dave Peters, Middle Bay Housing Authority, Columbia Cascade Housing. No new updates this time. We are still looking for a housing developer. Thanks.
Great. Phil Brady.
Good morning, Phil Brady. I'm Wasco County Commissioner, and this meeting used to be a breakfast meeting at the barbecue, and so I think we still should be able to have breakfast here while we're eating here. Well,
okay, as long as I don't know what you're eating, that's great.
Bananas and toast. And next week I have two invited guests, two other county commissioners, Leanne Thompson from Tillamook County, I believe, on the coast. She will be angry if I got that wrong. And Philip Chang from Deschutes County. They're going to be staying with us next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and hopefully they're going to tune in here on Thursday morning and join us.
Perfect. Yes.
Show them what we can do.
Kelly asked me from the office for details and such. So yes. And just briefly, just so you know, next week's speaker is Chris Eiler. He is U.S. Chamber. He is our representative for this half of this corner of the United States. And so he will be here doing updates about the U.S. Chamber, what they're advocating for, what's going on in D.C., and all those things that affect us all the way.
That'll be very useful for them too.
It'll be a great topic that can go statewide. It goes nationwide. So Chris will be here next Thursday, but let me see. Have I got everybody? I did. So Terri, we want to hear what's going on with you and your organization and how we can support you, how that can help support our community, and what that can make a difference for our businesses.
I will do that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through. We had a change in personnel, and for some reason my slide deck does not want to save. the new name. So let's see if it'll work. All right. Now I'm used to sharing on, there we go. Let me know if you see my screen and if it's the correct screen, not my email.
Looks good.
Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and do slideshow. All right. So this is the workforce team. Gary Charavelli, he does Clackamas down. Well, I've got a map that shows us. Jennifer, Misa does Central Oregon. And then our statewide coordinator is Kim Copeland. Our manager is Sherry Boyd. Come on. Next. Next. Oh, interesting. Hold on, people. There we go. Did it? No, it didn't work. Change for you guys. Huh. There we go. All right, I got it. So what is vocational rehabilitation? It is a state program, and it provides no-cost services to business and job seekers. We are under the ODH umbrella, so we are part of ODHS, which is a part of OHA. I don't understand all of the connections, but there you go. We have business coordinators like myself, direct service counselors, and then there are job coaches and developers. Now we contract out for those positions. So when we need a job developer or a contract or a coach, we contract out with local people. And we are a partner in DEIA. So the role of the workforce team is develop long-term partnerships with businesses, uncover employment opportunities, and collaborate with our workforce partners under the Workforce Innovation Act. And there'll probably be some questions, and I can explain more as we go along. So these are some of the things that I offer businesses: hiring guidance, retention, events. We can do like hiring events. I've done one in the Dalles. I think that was last year. It may have been the spring or summer before. We do virtual or in-person disability trainings for any size groups on a variety of topics. So I've given some to city entities. I did one for the Port of Morrow. We really individualize our services and our trainings to fit what the organization needs. Sometimes like this, they just want an overview of what we can do. Other times they want more of a disability awareness in the workplace type of thing. So we do individualize it. We also do consultation. So we talk about what reasonable accommodations are, what disability might look like in your workplace. And we also refer to other subject matter experts because the technology alone is way beyond what I can do. So for instance, if there's someone who has limited sight and they have a device, I would refer you to the Oregon Coalition for the Blind, because they have the experts on that technology. So this is the map. Mesa has this area right here. It is the closest to y'all. So sometimes we do events in Wasco County together. as you can see, I'm the blue. This massive piece of land over here is me. And I think I have the most beautiful part of Oregon to drive through. And given the distance between towns, I drive a lot. You might say I drive for a living. But I try to hit every county, and I've been in the position for over a year, and I'm still learning, because obviously I can't be a part of every community, and being a part of the community is the best way to serve that community. But what I can do is listen to the people that are in that community. I attend economic development meetings. I attend chamber events. I've been to the Dalles for a couple of them in the last year and a half. So I listen to the people who are there. And that's the best way for me to know how to serve businesses. So these are some of our workforce and community partners. I'm not gonna read off the whole list, but we do work closely with WorkSource, the Oregon Employment Department. They have business service specialists, and we work lockstep together. You all just got one, a new one. The position has been empty for a while. I have a meeting with her on the 31st. I'm really excited. I've heard really good things about her. Her name is Susanna. It escapes me. There's too many names. Just remembering the chamber presidents alone taxes my brain, right? We work with our youth team. We work with our tribal partners, of course, our job placement contractors and Employment First. And of course, Chamber of Commerce. That's what I'm doing right now. These are some of the events we host. We have a monthly, actually we do it every other month, Lunch and Learn, where we invite businesses in virtually to learn more about disability in the workplace, right? And DEIA, that's just one of the ones that we have offered in the past. Business Spotlight example, we had the Bureau of Land Management in. We try to do businesses that have a bigger footprint so that it is more geared towards statewide focus, right? We do Pitch Fest, which is a really fun thing, and that's kind of what I did in the Dalles. Is we have businesses set up, and then the students, this is for students, go from one business to the other. It's kind of like speed dating, right? Only they're learning how to present themselves. And they're really nervous at first, but since everybody's doing it and there's this nice hum of people talking, they start to relax and really learn how to present themselves. I think all students should have the opportunity to do this before they leave high school, not just students with disabilities. That's just me. And I know the Columbia River Gorge has a Pitch Fest that's completely different. So, and then there's my contact information, which I will put in the chat. And I'm gonna hop off and so I can see you all and stop sharing. Okay. VR is going through some changes, and I think they're really good. We, for about 35 years, we have worked with this program called YTP. You may have heard of it. It's a youth transition program. And we partially funded the transition specialist in high schools, right? And the school would sign the contract, and they would put the rest of the money in, so the transition specialist would get insurance and be part of the school union or the teachers union and all that. We discovered a couple years ago that that contract that we were holding was through the University of Oregon, and it was not allowable because we were delegating too much authority. So we have brought those positions, the technical advisors, in-house, and we are revamping the way that transition specialists are paid, how the contract works. But our focus is really on youth, because what we found is that students students with disabilities were hitting their mid-20s, and there was a lot of lack as far as basic soft skills and employment skills. So we have started really focusing on youth and getting those pre-employment transition skills into the schools and the transition programs. Now, when we talk about people with disabilities, we are talking about a wide range, right? There's people with learning disabilities, ADHD, there are people on the spectrum, there are cognitive developmental disabilities, I mean, the gamut, physical disabilities, I mean, diabetes, it can be considered a disability. 1 in 4 adults has a disability, and it is the one marginalized community that any one of us can enter at any time, right? Just we're one accident away. So this is something that we share with our business partners, because their workers, even off work, may become disabled in some way, and they will need to know how to set up accommodations so that they can be successful, and the business can retain a worker who already has been trained and has that knowledge, right? So we've been also, like I said, we've been focusing on youth. We are hiring 6 new counselors, direct service people who specialize in youth and will be actually going into high school to serve students. We're also hiring 3 more youth administrative supports, so that we're really covering all of our bases and giving our direct service people the support they need to be successful.
Oops, Terry, I have a question. So I know that you're focusing on some of that high school. So we have a program at our community college, and you may be connected, I'm not sure. These are some of the kids who are trying to get their GEDs, and it's the work experience program. Is there some partnership or at least communication between you and that department? We have actually hosted, I think it's now 9 of those students throughout the last few years, actually about 7 to 8 years now at the chamber, adding to that work experience and getting those kids some of that experience hands-on. So is there
I have not worked directly with the work experience there at the college. However, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think, 2 years, Vocational Rehabilitation received an $18 million grant to start a program called the Inclusive Career Advancement Program. And this is a program where we have contracted again with the community colleges around the state to put a career coach into the schools. And the career coach works directly with vocational rehabilitation, the direct service person, to help coach students with disabilities through pathways and certificate programs. So as far as they can go, because like I said, our focus is on youth. So we have switched from just getting people a job to getting people a career, right? Something that they can build on. So these coaches, they help a student with disabilities navigate the community college system and the disabilities services, though a lot of them are changing their name to accessibility services in the colleges. So we are working with colleges, in community colleges, to make that happen.
So I'm assuming that there is some financial help. So when maybe a business wants to do this. One, all my businesses are looking for help. We're just going to be straight up out there.
Right.
And some of those businesses can adapt for some people with either, whatever the needs are. Some of them can adapt to that. So I'm sure you've got this in here, but what is it that I can message to our businesses, because they are hurting for help, and they're looking for somebody who's going to be that loyal, that dedicated, that compassionate. And sometimes I will bring in somebody with no skill if they have all of those attributes above, and then I can teach them the skill. I can't teach them the other piece of that. So I know some of our businesses, they would be willing to go down this path with you in partnership if they knew that there was some help at the beginning, because it's going to take more training, and then be able to have this loyal, and they now have a career opportunity in front of them. So I'm sure you'll get to that, but that's kind of where I'm looking.
Yes, there's first off, there's the work opportunity tax credit. So people with disabilities are considered preferred workers. So there are preferred worker programs. And that is something that the business can sign up for on hiring.
Okay.
And of course, they can't ask if a person has disabilities. However, they can put it in, the way they put it in is, we are open to hiring people with disabilities, and then somebody can check, right? If they're working with VR, it's a really weird thing because nobody can say this person has disabilities. But if you're working with vocational rehabilitation, one of the criteria is eligibility. They have to have a documented barrier to employment, right? So that's a given. The business knows it. The Voc Rehab counselor knows it. If the client doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine, but they can still get the work opportunity tax credit. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the Dalles has traditionally been without a kind of one-on-one support needed for training. So we're talking job coaches. And most people with disabilities, even those with developmental or intellectual disabilities, can be trained with a job coach, and then the job coach slowly works themselves out of that job, right? The problem I have found with restaurants in particular is the kitchens are small.
Right.
So they're really hesitant to add someone in with the worker, right? But oftentimes for a little bit of inconvenience, that person can be trained, and then the job coach will be out, and then they only check in. Now, the way that VR works is we will pay for the job coach, right? We will pay for the job coach until the person is stable. That means the business is happy, the person is happy, and there's stability in the job.
Okay.
And then if it's intellectual or developmental disabilities, if the person needs a long-term job coach, that will go to the county, and then the county it just left my mind, disabilities, OED, there's too many acronyms.
I agree.
they will take care of it, right?
Okay.
There was another thing that I was going to say about that I think is important for people to know, but obviously not important enough to remember.
A job developer.
Oh, yes, thank you. The Dalles now has job coaches and job developer. Community Action Services has hired
Okay.
them on. I work with both of them. And like I do job developing, but I don't carry a caseload. I might work on behalf of certain clients, but I may never meet them. My goal is long-term partnerships with businesses and soft handoffs to the job developers and the or warm handoffs to the job developers and the direct service person. That's what I can offer a business, but I want the long-term partnerships. So
Right.
we want the person that we put in the position to be successful for both the business and the person, for everybody's sake. We want that win-win.
Okay. That helps.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Phil. I'm on the road. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Phil.
And I may have missed a step here. Is your services also connected? I'm thinking with some rehabilitation services that are going on at the Gloria Center. And I'll let Lisa describe that more because I'm kind of driving.
I have not heard of the Gloria Center, but that does not mean that the local direct service people have not.
Okay. So I can get you more information on that, Terry, and then you can see if there's dots
would be
already
great.
connected. So that is with it's with Mid-Columbia Community Action Council. So I am going to assume since they're the ones, that's the ones who have the coaches. And
Yes.
okay, so I'm going to assume, but it's never safe to assume.
Right.
So I will get the information to you from the two key contacts I have, just to make sure there is a partnership there so that we're not leaving that demographic out of that. So,
Right.
but yes. Okay. I'm assuming this stuff is in like bullet point on the website so that if a business goes there, they can quickly see the resources that are available to them and why it would benefit them.
Huh. Again, don't assume.
Okay. Maybe you have a one pager I can share with our businesses. How's that?
I will look that up and get that
Okay.
sent to you. I should have had it up, but
No, that's
we'll
okay.
get it sent to you.
I would love to be able to have that information because there's certain businesses, this is not going to work for everyone, but
Right.
there are certain
Okay.
businesses that are looking that have that passion to really help, but they also need the help in their office. So this could be a good partnership. It's not for, like I said, it's not for everyone. I
Right.
can think of a few places, no, they don't have room to bring in a coach. They just don't.
Right.
And so I would like to have this in my back pocket as a tool and a reference.
And
But also
many people,
go ahead.
many people don't need job coaches.
Right.
They
Okay.
may need some other accommodations, but they
Okay.
don't need job coaches.
Okay, perfect.
And it's not like, the one thing that I like to leave people with is this isn't like we're bringing people with disabilities in. They are already in your community. They're members of your community, right? And by
Right.
hiring people with disabilities, a business is building its own community, and strong communities lead to strong businesses. You can't have one without the other, which is why vocational rehabilitation went the extra mile to create the workforce team that I'm on.
Great. Okay, I'm done asking my questions. Sorry.
Does anybody
So-
else have any questions?
Scott, do you have a question?
Yeah, Terry, I have the question is, I've never been real clear how Voc Rehab works with the community-based organizations such as in the Dalles and Hood River Community Access that provides services for people with disabilities. And then my understanding has done work placement. And and that type of thing. When I was a director of the Mid-Columbia Senior Center, we had an employee through, at that time, Opportunity Connections that had a job coach. And Robert, great guy. He was at that level of disability, cognitive disability, that he never, he always needed a job coaching for him. I know two other people that I've known through Special Olympics, and they are working at Safeway and doing quite well independently, and really providing a lot of help there. So, but I guess the initial question is, how do you work with a community-based program such as Community Access?
I know, well, first off, there's a regional workforce dude. It's not Levi, it's something else. I run into Employment First meetings with him, and Employment First is an organization of community organizations that come together on behalf of people with cognitive and developmental disabilities, intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I have worked with him, but the boots on the ground people are Caleb DuBois and Don Redner, and they work together in both Hood River and the Dalles. And the way that we work together is we don't want to create business fatigue. So we share what businesses we're reaching out to, which ones are open. I have an industry tour at Cardinal Glass in Hood River County, and they are both coming to that, as well as the WorkSource business person. They're coming to that. So I try to reach out to other ODHS community people, as well as the different community organizations that are already in place. That's how I can learn about the community, find out what businesses really are open to what I'm doing. So it's knowledge gathering and strategic intentionality on how we approach businesses for jobs.
Terry, I don't know if this is helpful or totally irrelevant. I did a little bit of work with DHS when I was with the college. Oh, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. And I tried to put together, I can't remember if I did this or if I received it while I was doing that, but I threw a bubble chart in the chat box just now. I know some of it is out of date. Some of those organizations, at least one, I don't think exist anymore. But I don't know if those relationships, it was kind of a flow chart as to who does what, and either toss it or whatever, you know, I don't know if it's helpful or not.
I just downloaded it. Thank you. I'm currently trying to get in touch with someone at the Lions Club who was interested, they're in the Dalles, who was interested in a presentation. So I am getting there. I've got work there this next week. It's just like I try to tell the people, my managers, they have to factor in drive time for me, you know? That takes a lot.
Lions Club meets weekly, and Kiwanis is another good group in terms of business engagement.
Okay.
You know,
Kristen at Salvation Army is Lions Club, I think.
well, I can send her,
Lions Club. Sorry,
I can send Terry all that contact for those different clubs because we have them here at the chamber.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
The other thing is if I'll make sure you're on our mailing list, because we do have networking events a lot. We have at least besides community affairs, we do one every Wednesday morning, and then we do once a month for our morning buzz. The morning buzz is averaging about 25 people, and they're all business. So that
Okay.
might be a really good intentional opportunity for you to mingle with businesses of the Dalles. So I'll make sure that you're on our e-blast that comes out Monday morning. You want the Monday one that lists all the networking events for the week.
Are we a member of the chamber? Do you know if Voc Rehab is a member of the chamber?
We tried it, and we never got response. So I will double check and I will get you info for that.
Okay,
But-
we're trying to streamline how
Yeah.
we do that because we can be members. Now,
Okay.
the one thing that I do have to mention is that we need you to sign a waiver that says
Yep.
you're not using our money for
Yep. Yep,
political
we
lobbying.
went through that before, so,
Okay.
and we totally understand it and get it. But here's
Okay.
the other kicker for this. You do not have to be a member to come to our networking events. We would love for you to be supporting of us, but we
Right.
also understand you are statewide, and that's a lot of chambers. But we make our networking events or community calendar available to everyone. We want everybody to have the opportunity, and then they can decide, is this really going to
Right.
be a benefit? Or is this the right chamber for me? Because there's over 90 chambers in the state of Oregon. So that's a lot of chambers for you to do that part of it. I'm going to suggest maybe instead of individual chambers, maybe the Oregon State Chamber, and we funnel your information to all the chambers.
Oh, that could be too. I do know that that is something that they have decided was a priority
Okay.
because it's essential for all of us to be able to. Not
Perfect.
all of them are as welcoming as you are. I'm just gonna say I
Thank
couldn't
you.
even get on a mailing list
Oh my
until I
goodness.
was a member.
No. We do not. These guys on this window right here will tell you that's not how I operate. So I will get information to you on how to do all that. I'll also get you some OSCC stuff. And the only reason I know all that is I'm the chair of the board right now for Oregon State Chamber. But that is something that if you came along as a partner, we can be getting that information out to all the chambers at once. And so that might be a good partnership. Also might be good for you to be at our conference this fall.
Oh, really? When is that?
I believe it's the end of September to like the 2nd of October. I will get you dates for that because I'm the chair of that committee.
All right, I can run that past my manager and see what.
But that
she's
might
gonna-
get you in front of many chambers at once because they
Right.
need to know this. As these guys can testify, we need to know this information. We need to be
Mhm.
that community that embraces, supports, and helps. So however that looks for each thing, but I'm all for helping you also make your footprint bigger and get that message out.
So
Are
Lisa,
you- Oh, go ahead.
Lisa and Terry, Lisa, I just threw your old letter to DHS in the chat box.
You still
Wow.
have it?
Terry,
Wait a
that was the letter that DHS needed to provide membership. It was the assurance from Lisa that they are
Oh,
not
yes.
going to be doing advocacy,
that's-
lobbying.
Just a few years ago, Dan.
Just a few years ago, the point of contact needs to change. But Terry, I think if you receive that letter from Lisa, then that should clear up the membership question.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
We'll do
I
that
don't
off
see it in
screen.
the chat.
All right. Good thing I'm
Yeah.
working from my personal computer this morning.
I see that there's another person in my life that does not get rid of anything like I do.
Oh, no.
I have it all saved somewhere, so never, ever, no. No, I would love to help you and support you in any way we can for Wasco County, but
Okay.
also statewide. I think this is essential. I think Dan and Phil, well, all of you guys can testify. I am all about supporting and bringing in, like I said, I'm on my 9th student for work experience, and these are youth that do not have soft skills. They some of them, this was their first job and they're 18 and 19 years old. And we've brought them in for at least a term and employed them, worked with them, exposed them to all the opportunities because we are such a diversified type of business as far as our function goes. And we actually, after having one student for 2 terms, we hired her permanently and she's one of my full-time employees now.
That's fantastic.
Yep, she just needed a chance to blossom and she did. So yes.
Good.
Yeah.
VR is working on a program, or it's something we can already do, but we don't have the processes set in place for the workforce people to go out and create it. I mean, make it happen. Is we are working on a program to pay for paid internships in businesses, so businesses would not have to pay.
That's even a bigger step up because businesses don't have it. And it is going to require it, to be honest, it's going to require extra training. One, you're bringing in somebody who may not even know that industry, you know, and then 2, they may not have those skills at all. So it's going to take a little bit on that employer's part.
Exactly. One other question for you is, are you open to presentations yet? Are you opening it up for presentations? You
mean in person?
Yes. No, I mean the fall statewide chamber.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have not confirmed everything there yet. So let me do some talking to my committee and see, but I've got your info. If anything, I would love for you to have a booth there so that people can connect with you. We have lots of breakouts where they can go and do that.
That would be great.
So, see, you were supposed to be on here today. Sorry, guys, we kind of left you all out over there, but just jump in if you want to say anything. But I just know the need for our businesses, and I also know that there's a need over here with this demographic, and we need to somehow find a way to marry them. So,
I agree.
Yes. Anyway, any other questions? Since I kind of took over. Sorry. Terri, what else did you really want to share with us?
I think I shared everything, and if I didn't share everything, I forgot it. So, you know, we're just going to go with it.
All right. Dan, did you have a question? Because you're on mute. Hey, Dan, you're on mute.
You know, as long as I've been doing Zoom meetings, you'd think I'd remember to take myself off of mute.
No, it's the phrase of the day. You're on mute.
I've got one item on the a different topic in the chat box. If we could hang on for a second after this wraps up, I just wanted to.
Okay.
We got to correct one statement in an EPA press release.
Oh, the Brownsfield?
Yeah. I'll just talk with you a second after this meeting wraps up. The EPA got something wrong, and I don't want that to get out there.
Okay. We did not put that out. Amy sent that by email from the city.
Yeah, and Amy should have corrected it. It is corrected, actually. You see the statement. This is incorrect. It's the question of whether the building was ever vacant. And technically, it has not ever been vacant. And that's a sensitive point because it's in the scenic area. So it's fine the way it's
she's got the correction phrase in there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
We're all
perfect.
Good. We're all good.
So, all right. Yes, Scott.
Oh, real quick, Terri, I work for this statewide nonprofit called Age Plus, and when I became the community liaison here, I made sure that Age Plus became a member of the Dalles Chamber of Commerce. I mean, if you're going to be a member of any Chamber of Commerce in the state, it would be the Dalles.
Correct.
Because it's business focused, but also extremely community focused. So with Lisa's leadership, I would consider it essential to belong to the chamber here in the Dalles.
God, thank
you.
You're gonna make me have tears. Thank you. I have some amazing community supporters, and they're rock solid. rock stars as volunteering everywhere, and you're looking at a screen full of them right now. So, yes, I
Oh.
appreciate all of you. So,
So coffee and crying for this morning's,
yeah, there we go. Mhm. An opportunity. So I'll get those opportunities to you after we get off the call.
Okay, thank you very, very much for having me. It was a pleasure meeting all of you, and I hope to meet you in person someday.
Yes, Terri, please let me know when you're driving through.
Okay, I will.
No matter what time of day, I'll get you my cell phone and we'll just connect.
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye,
All
y'all.
right, you guys, you get an extra 10 minutes in your day. Look at that. I can even give you the gift of time. All right,
Lisa.
everybody enjoy. Have a great Thursday, and we'll enjoy your 3-day weekend. So yes. Oh, well, I don't want to hear it, Dave. You know, get rid of that 4-day. Yeah. No, enjoy that weekend and take care. It'll be great weather Sunday and Monday for fishing, just in case you needed to know. Just not telling you where.
Thank you, Lisa.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.